worth whatever it's worth, right? Whoever sells it. Wrong. I'm Charlie. Welcome to Moving Home with Charlie, and thank you for coming.
Charlie Landing grew up in Sussex, is the founder of Best Agent and presenter of Moving Home with Charlie.
If you want to find one of these guys, look out for those compassionate professionals. All estate agents are not the same.
So Charlie, what would be your advice for people interested in buying new builds right now?
Don't overpay. Do buy, but don't overpay. That's why I say disregard the guff. Read into the numbers and look, and it's buried. The bad news is buried in the small print, okay?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Property Press Awards.
They may or may not be telling the truth, but you should form your own view. Get out and view, get out and view, get out and view. You cannot be in a position to make offers and have the offers accepted if you're not viewing. So be out there viewing. Pay attention to the back of the class. If you've not been watching my videos, I did one just a couple of days ago. Disregard the guff, guys. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Sorry for the lack of notice and sorry for the weird audio and also the weird background noises you're going to hear. I'm traveling. It's very hard to know when I'm going to get a chance to do these. I have to grab the chance when I get it. So that's what I'm doing. I hope you can hear me okay. This video is for anyone buying or selling or both, or thinking of buying, thinking of selling, or both, and looking at housing market news and trying to work out what it means for your transaction. If there was only one thing, one piece of advice or one piece of knowledge I could give to anyone moving house in the sales market, it would be this, what I'm explaining in this video. This is, in my view, the single most important thing to understand when you are buying or selling or both as a home mover. All right. It's off the top of my head, forgive me, but I needed to get this out of my head and out onto the internet so that everyone can understand this. And this applies no matter what's happening to the wider housing market. This knowledge is valid in any housing market environment. Whether prices are going up, whether they're going down, whether they're flatlining, it doesn't matter. It's the same. And I want you to understand this one truth. The purchase or sale of any one home has very little, in almost nothing to do with the housing market reports that you see. And so whilst, of course, it makes sense to look at the news, look at the land registry prices for your area, look at whatever information that you can get, because that information is all so heavily lagged, it can be very misleading and usually is misleading as to what's actually happening today at the coalface of housing transactions. And every individual home, even two halves, the two separate halves of a semi-detached home, have a different market. Every single individual home has a unique market, even if you have a street full of identical homes, terraced homes. Every single one is a unique market, and it is not related to the wider housing market, even the regional housing market or the local housing market where you are. Let me explain why. If you understand this, you will understand so much more about everything that happens in the housing market. And my motivation here is to help people move, whether you're buying for the first time, whether you're selling and buying, whether you're just selling up, whatever it might be. My motivation here is to make moving easier, whatever your position in the moving chain is, okay? And understanding this point will help with that, whatever happens. And this is it. This also explains why quality estate agents are so crucial. Every property has a unique market comprising of three things, okay? The physical property itself and its desirability and its construction and its situation in terms of the survey and its quality and whether or not it has work done, okay, if it's a brand new one or not, it doesn't matter. Every single property, number one, has its own unique physical market attributes, including its desirability, which is affected by all kinds of things, okay? But included in those physical attributes of that particular home are, for example, the neighbors, your immediate neighbors. Now, if you've been to view properties, you'll know what I mean, okay? The neighbors might be wonderful, they might be a nightmare. And those two differences will make a different market for that property, which is one of the reasons why automated valuation tools are a total waste of time. Total, utter, complete waste of time, and will never, ever be useful, okay? This is why property is unlike any other purchase you will ever make, because there are things that have nothing to do with the financial aspects of the property that affect its saleabilities, right? This is one of three things in the market for any individual property, okay? So its construction, its quality, its interiors, whether it smells or not, what the light does. Why? This is why two different halves of the same building, when two semi-detached houses are going to have completely different feels inside because of the light, because of the aspect of those properties, and because of the neighbors either side. You've got neighbors on one side who like to keep their house clean and tidy and their driveway and their garden clean and tidy. And on the other side, you've got neighbors who just don't care and it's a junkyard. And then those two properties are going to have different levels of desirability and different markets, right? This is why you have to go and see them. So I'm doing this off the top of my head and in very much in brief. Okay, so number one, each property has its own unique physical attributes that affect the market for that property. Number one. Number two, the seller's situation. Okay, is the seller perhaps a massive professional landlord and it's just one of their massive portfolio? Is the seller someone who's is it a probate sale? Has the occupier died and is the property now a probate sale? Is the seller someone who's living there, needs to move for work? In other words, their requirements to move have nothing to do with prices, right? They need to move. Is the seller well, I'll sell if I can get the right price or not? Is the seller selling because of debt reasons or divorce reasons? All of these things change the market of that property. Okay, the seller's situation is arguably one of the biggest input factors to the market for a property. The ultimate price that property will exchange hands at, okay, is the seller's situation. And again, that is something that no fucking algorithm on the planet can tell you. But it's what the agents know, and it's another reason why agents, if they're good, are valuable in this transaction. Value in this process of creating the market for the property. Then you have the actual buying market for a property. And this is again where really good quality agents come in, because a very good quality agent will know how to create the best market for a property. And a really crap agent won't. And so that's why good agents actually get more money for the same property than a crap agent will. Because the price ultimately achieved for a property will depend on how many people are offering. So let's just take a nasty rundown, crappy property with crappy, annoying neighbors. It's been on the market for ages. No one's interested in it. And there's been having no viewings. But you're a buyer and you're not going to rule it out because it might just be the bargain that you want. You don't care about the neighbors for whatever reason. You might be the only market for that property. Does that make sense, right? If there are no inquiries, you are the market. If you're the only person viewing and despite everything, you are considering buying that property, you are the market for that property. Yeah, that makes sense. But if the agent's done a better job, and no matter what the condition of the property, they have created a market. In other words, they've created competing interests for that property, and you're not the only buyer, well, then the market for that property is different. And this is one of the areas where quality agents separate themselves out from poor agents, and if you're a seller, this is what's crucial to you, a quality agent will find and create the market for your home no matter what's happening in the wider economy, in the wider market. Even if house prices are falling, they will know how to create a market for that property. Slapping it on the internet at a high price and waiting and hoping, any idiot can do that. Doesn't mean that you'll sell it. And that's why there are so many properties sitting unsold at a high price. Yeah? Because the sellers have gone, well, anyone who can sell a property, let's just choose the cheapest agent. Stupid to do that, especially in any market, especially in a falling market. Because even in a strong market, 1 in 3 sales falls through, you know? So let's just recap. The property itself, the physical conditions of the property, what it smells like inside, what the light is like inside, what the view is like out of the window, all affects the desirability. The desirability affects the price. The neighbors affect the price. The road, everything else affects the price. And the searches that you do on that property will affect the price as well. Okay. Number 2, the seller situation. And number 3, how many buyers are there interested in that property? Now, all 3 of those things are factors that will create the market for that property. And the individual unique price of that property will have nothing to do with what's happening in the local area. Nothing. That is just an outlying factor on the price that a property will sell for. What's happening in the local market? Yeah, you know, it's an influence, but it won't affect that individual property's transaction, which is why even when the market is strong, you still have properties coming on that don't sell. All right? Now, there's a lot more of that happening now, but does that help, guys? I hope this is useful. I'm going to wrap it up. I didn't want this to be I wanted this to be a short video. But that's the truth. Okay? The seller's situation and motivation and reason for selling and urgency for selling, the property's desirability, right? How well it's been kept inside. Has it been trashed by children and pets, or has it been looked after and cared for by someone that loves to keep it clean? That will change the value of a house, and no automatic valuation tool will ever be able to factor in those kind of things. They will never be able to factor in a seller's motivation. They will never be able to factor in how much of a nightmare or not the neighbors are. Okay. And all of these factors are things that a really good agent will factor in. And if you listen to them, they will price it correctly and get it sold in any market. So when you are thinking about buying or selling or both a home, in the end, the only thing that matters is the circumstances of each individual property, if you're a buyer that you go to see, or your particular property if you are the seller. And you've got to detach yourself from anything I say about what's happening in the market, anything that the papers are saying, or the Land Registry, or the ONS, because your individual property is unique. What are your neighbors like? What does the property smell like? How nice is the garden? Like, it's so important to understand this. Yes, take into account the wider market, and then disregard the wider market. Just disregard it. And ask yourself, what's the market for this home? Whether you're the buyer or a seller, what is the market for this home? All right, good question, Jimmy. How much does the psychology of general culture perception of house prices play into this? Right, well, this is a very good question, and it is relevant. That's why I'm going to answer this question. Thanks for the question, Jimmy. Estate agents who are selling a property will attempt to use the psychology of the general culture and perception of the market to try to talk the value up. Okay, a lot of mediocre and crap agents will do that. A quality agent won't insult your intelligence like that, and will talk about just the market for that home. Okay, which is why if you're a buyer, the first question I would always have is, what's the seller situation? The second question I would have is, what offers have you had? And please be precise. Don't be vague. Don't bullshit me. Are you going to be truthful with me? Otherwise, please don't answer the question. And ultimately, as the buyer, this is when you can just disregard everything. You disregard what the market's doing and everything else, if you are in a position to buy property, and just go, what's my maximum comfortable offer for that property in this environment? You make your offer by email, and you make your maximum offer and say, this is the one and only offer I'm making. If it's not accepted, that's fine, I'm walking away. But if it is, I hope the seller will consider it. I actually think that estate agents can use the delay in market reporting and what's happening with prices generally in the area to manipulate buyers. But in the end, it only matters what the market for that one property is, whether you're the buyer or the seller. So just, guys, that's the truth, right? The housing market and the market for your home are two separate, unrelated things. I hope that's helpful. I don't know if it has been. Ruben, who gets first dibs on bank repossessions? This is why I always say it's worth building. If you're a buyer, it's worth building relationships with agents, because if you are a buyer that they like dealing with and talking to, and you treat them with respect and decency, then you're the person they're going to want to buy when the bargains start coming in. Yeah, that's what's worth doing that. Tom, great question. Agents always say they can't say what the offers are. That's not true, right? If they say, oh, GDPR, I can't tell you, then that is code for there aren't any other offers, right? Truly, it's code for there aren't any other offers. Because they can tell you whether or not there have been other offers. They can tell you that. So if they give you the, I can't say what the offers are, you can ask them, does that mean I'm the only person? If I make an offer, am I the only offer? If they are evasive, it's because there aren't any other good offers. If they have other offers, they will tell you, yeah, we had another offer. It was this much last week. You can't be certain, but you can ask them in writing. If they say GDPR, you can call bullshit and say, no, GDPR just says you cannot reveal the identity of who's offering. So if they call GDPR, either they're a naive employee who's been told that by their boss and they believe it's the truth, or they're a lying bullshit artist, and you should call them on it. Oh, Claybrooks, that's fantastic news. Vendor has accepted their offer. As you mentioned, you'd purchase your own searches with me. Awesome. That's great. Thank you. Guys, I'm keeping it short this time. I want to wrap it up. It's already gone a bit long. I'm going to be doing another video very soon about why, if you're a landlord selling a property with a tenant in it, you don't have to get your tenant out. And in this particular market, I think it's good to do that. Right. I'm going to shut up. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the lack of notice. Have a great Sunday. See you on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.